Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. It is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. Hope you guys all were able to stuff your faces with delicious turkey dinners or whatever it is you all like to eat on Thanksgiving. I hope you all had to were able to spend time with friends and family, get some rest and relaxation. And yeah, we'll be wrapping up the week here today. Jump into chat wherever you are. Say hi. We'll do the roll call and jump into this Friday show officially in about 5 minutes or so. I see Tina Anon, Lino Vincent, QOys, Truth Teller 101, Jay the Jeweler TV, and Lucy Anders over there on D Live. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for joining me over in the mosh pit. Shout out to those of you watching on Rumble as well. Hit that thumbs up button for us if you haven't done so already. Liberty's Great Awakening, Spiky 999. I see you guys out there. Of course, Joe Elaine doing her mod thing over on Rumble as well. Thank you, Joe. And yeah, shout out to the Cloud Hub Odyssey and Twitter viewers as well. And those of you watching on pill.net in the comfy bunker, make sure you guys all jump into chat as well and say hello. That is the only place, the exclusive place to watch the entirety of today's show, because we do go exclusively to Pilled for the last hour or so. I see Floyd Due Diligence over there. What's up, Floyd? D. Richard, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Patriot 714 in the house as well. Delia, what's up, Delia? Patriot 714, great to see you. And Joe Elaine, of course, keeping the comfy bunker super comfy. Appreciate you, Joe. Floyd with a leftovers cookie with turkey gravy, right on. Fantastic. Who doesn't love some Thanksgiving leftovers? This is actually the first year in a long time where I did not go home with any leftovers. So I am missing out on the turkey fest for the next 5-6 days afterwards, like you usually get. Pat McFly, great to see you. Fazik, welcome, great to see you as well. And we got Truth Teller 101 out there. Good to see Barb Robbins hanging out as well. Henry 4570, great to see you. Roy Stones and Bones, bringing it in from the West Coast. What's up, Roy? Lizzie B, Spiky 999. How are you guys? Sig your Dragon Slayer, what's going on? Subpack Vet, welcome. Scott 17, good to see you. Good afternoon to you too, Mr. Gerardo. Good to see you. Glenna Riggleman in the house, and Molon Lave, Kaiman checking in from South Africa. What's up, Kaiman? Great to see you. Zoe and Don Ritchie 17, Sergeant Peterson and Ghost Pepper. Great to see all you guys out there. Quiltanon in the house. What's up, Quilt? Tweety52, great to see you. Richard Lyles, thank you so much for the can. DJD75 says happy post Turkey Day, right back at you. Joe Elaine, thank you so much for the can. I appreciate that so much. Carenza in the house. Country Girl 007, welcome. Gilligan's, good to see you. PNW Sasquatch says happy day after. Yes, happy day after to you as well, Sasquatch, and thank you for the can. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Curious One, what's up, Jenny? Hope you and Lyle had a wonderful Thanksgiving together. Yeah, great to see you. Bella 214, how's it going? Great to see you. Duppy in the house says burp. That's great. Carenza says post tryptophan cookie. Yeah, the tryptophan struggle is real. Absolutely real. Thank you so much for that. And it looks like we've already gotten to everybody over here. PNW Sasquatch, I see you over on Rumble. Silebor checking in over on D Live. What's up, Silebor? Good to see you. So another slow day. I expected today to be very, very slow, both from a news standpoint and from a viewership standpoint, just with the holiday and whatnot. I know a lot of people like to go out into the world and do their start their holiday shopping on Black Friday. So yep. Pip's mom checking in from across the pond as well. Good to see a Patriot, Donnie. What's up, Donnie? How are you? Hope you're well. Yeah. But I hope you guys, like I said, all had awesome Thanksgiving. Yeah, leftovers are the best. I am kind of bummed that I didn't come home with any leftovers last night. Kaz 1012, what's going on? Good to see you. Harley Quinn hanging out with us today as well. What's up, Harley? Great to see you. Yep. Yeah, normally dinner is at my parents' house on Thanksgiving, and I get to leave with all kind of leftovers between me and my brother. We usually split them up pretty good. But this year we ended up at a family friend's house, so didn't really get to raid the leftover tray like I normally would. Too cold and snowy to shop. Where are you at, Patriot Donnie? You must be a little bit further north than me. Oh man. All right. Well, I guess we should just go ahead and get this party started. Wherever you're watching, please share the link. If you're on pilled.net, make sure you repost the show, hit that red pill button, all those little things that help. And yeah, we will be back in just a few moments. See you guys soon.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Y'all for tuning in, Patriots United, doing what we gotta do to win. Be addicted, the MS7, now we're moving in. And once we take over, we won't ever move again. Where we go on, we go all. I say it with pride. No, we won't run, we won't fall. We're right by your side. The demons have taken hold, but none of us will abide. Stand strong, stand bold, that's how we'll survive. 412 is the production. Monday through Friday, deplorable discussions. We're making it hard for the deep state to function. Every time they switch up the narrative, we debunk it. Adol Nero is the power that's controlling the flight. With all the patriots behind them, cause we're all in this fight. So many rhyme for so long, but we're giving them sight. Trapped in the world of darkness, but we're bringing them light. You may even find yourself in a different life. A lot of us have, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. Because exactly where you are at this moment in life is where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. It's all by design, the patriots are holding the line. They must have lost theirs, thinking they're controlling our minds. So many trapped in mental prisons don't know they're confined. They're just slaves in the system till the roles are assigned. That's sad, the good news is that we're waking them up. They have monopolies on minds, but we're breaking them up. Everything you thought was news, they were making it up. When we ascend, all the tyrants won't be making the cut. Let them all burn in the hellscape they create. We the people already mapped out our escape. We hold each other by the hand as we all elevate and go to a different place. They can never get chased. When I look into the future, I can see that it's bright. When this history is written, they will see that we're right. We formed our own community and the circle is tight. But I expand the circle with every word that I write. The pen is sharper than the sword when you wield it with might. Why do you think they try to kick us off all the sites? These people hate America, punish us out of spite. We are the beacons of hope in the darkness of night. So let's go, strap in, yeah, get ready for the ride. Watch the water, we're witnessing the turning of the tide. Feel the passion and the fire that you got burning inside. Take the narrative they're feeding you and turn it to the side. We're alerted to the lies, replacing with the truth. We know the plan they devised, they're invading the youth. Now we're only sending vibes, just start lacing our boots. These demons all weaponized. Now we're raising our troops, now we're raising the roof and sounding the alarm. Remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. Life is a game of chess, they want to use you as a pawn. You're only useful until you're not useful, then you're gone. But not us, we're on the right team where we belong. Everybody is invited, so come follow along. We refuse to say things are right, knowing they're wrong. Adol Nero, take the mic and take flight, cause it's on.
And now, straight from the Steel City, it's your host, 412 Adol Nero.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Thank you guys so much for wrapping up your week here with me here on 412 Productions. It is November 24th, 2023. As of right now, I am riding solo for the moment. I think Drunk Pinata may join me here in a bit, but for now, it is just us, which is cool by me. So I hope you guys all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you're all very full. Hope you have lots of delicious leftovers and ready to have a little bit of fun here today. I haven't really decided what kind of show I want this to be, so we'll kind of figure this out as we go. And there's Pinata. Let's get him up here. Maybe that'll help set some direction on what we're gonna do here today. Yo, what's up, Pinata? Happy Friday, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I saw with my own eyes just the kind of cold, calculating decisions that are made by people that are trapped within the narrative matrix.
Oh, do you want to expand on that?
Sure. A person that will remain nameless was talking to a person that will also remain nameless, and were musing and said, "Did you know that so?" Oh, sorry, I got the auto pushed to the stream. I got an extra audio mayor. So two people that shall remain nameless were having a conversation about a person that will remain nameless, saying that, "Did you know so and so? They're actually political, and they support Trump." And then this person was saying, "Well, I guess we can't be friends with them anymore." And I said, "Why not?" Across a crowded room, and didn't land, but it was anyway. I let it go, but just shows the kind of hold that this cult has over people, and they try to. And this is the projection that they have, trying to call MAGA a cult. Mm-hmm. Not even close. Because what does a cult really do? You have to excommunicate people immediately if they're not following, or they have created the ultimate sin. And this, of course, is the sin of even acknowledging any tiny pinky finger of support for the villain is the orange bad man. And I think I pretty much have figured out exactly what's going on with my personal situation just by witnessing that episode.
Well, that's it's so true. I've actually, Pinata, you just gave me a perfect. I didn't know when I was going to play this today, but you gave me a perfect segue. So,
remember those things? Those are crazy. They kind of went away, didn't they?
Oh, you mean like the little?
Yeah, so the actual segues. I think they came out with Mall Cop, and they're like, "Oh shit, Kevin James ruined freaking segues." Well, they're like, these are just, we can't sell these. They're too gay now.
Fucking Paul Blart.
As you can tell, I'm in a mood, so this will be fun.
This should, like I said, you should relate to this though, because when you just were talking about that experience, at your Thanksgiving dinner table there, this came to mind, and this is Jim Brewer talking about people with TDS. I think you guys will all enjoy this.
What is going on? Right? Like, it's past if you're divided politically. Even, you have to admit, even if you're like, I don't care, as long as it's not you know who. That was like a demonic, like the devil came out and just whoever, like, we're gonna make people hate Donald Trump, hate. Get him. I hate Donald Trump. He's a racist. He's a dead white supremacist. He's an insurrectionist. They lynch people. Because I saw the news channels. I saw them saying, he's racist, he's sexist. You would just wake up to pee in the middle of the night. He hates Mexicans, and he says they're rapists, and he hates black people, and
their mind shuts off entirely.
It really does. On your show today, did you have any good clips that you wanna share?
I mean, good is just a very subjective on my show, but um,
Anything?
yeah. Here, I'll just give you a general overview of what we went over. All right. So what you had was this lady here,
Oh, God.
which I guess I don't know if she changed or forgot to apply something that she normally applies, because that chin is not doing anything for sure. And so they're just like, it has to be. So basically, what I'll give you is today was more of this. It has to be this way. It has to be, because we can't have Orange Man back in that White House. We can't. It has to be this. It has to be fraud in the New York case with his businesses. It has to be. It just has to be. The desperation of what there's, especially now that this whole 14th Amendment has got kicked out, they're saying, how does it not apply? It has to apply to the president. It has to. Well, no. If you actually step back and look at it, it was Civil War reconstruction. And I even brought this example out. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, and I know that this is not going to make sense based on geography. Let's just say the president, when the Civil War ended, was from the South, and the South had conceded, right? North wins, they have the presidency. Do they include the presidency in the 14th Amendment, Section 3? Probably, right? Because there was no reason for them to consider the president at the time Reconstruction, because the presidency belonged to the North with Lincoln.
Right.
So if you think about it, I know that's hard for leftists to do and not use over the emotion. It makes sense why they would not specifically include the president.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so they're still, but they're like, no, it has to apply. It has to be an officer of the United States. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be. It's just like what Brewer was talking about. They literally launch into this psychotic side episode in their own minds about justifying of what they're doing and what they're thinking, because it can't be, because it's what the media's created is that existential crisis. It has to be this. And then this is where you get shit like this. Like, still got Clara McCaskill spouting nonsense that doesn't even make sense. Even it's provably false.
In this theory, I think people, it is very easy to forget how scary this guy is if you are not listening and watching him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, not that long ago, he actually said that he would terminate the Constitution. I mean, that was just like a month ago.
No, it was about 5 months ago, and it was in a post on Truth Social talking about how if we're not going to follow election laws according to the Constitution, maybe we shouldn't abide by the Constitution. That's what he said. That's the only time he's ever talked about it, and that's it. And it was on the Truth Social post. He didn't say it.
Yeah.
A few months ago, before that, he was threatening to execute for treason one of our top military leaders.
Again, not the same thing. And completely out of context. It was True Social post. So it's just, you see how that desperation is there. It's like, it has to be this, because otherwise we have Orange Hitler once again.
It's insane. They are really, really like losing it a bit, Pinata. Like, this is very unhinged messaging. This isn't the same.
Where do you go? Well, here's the thing. Where do you go from there? They've alluded to him being Hitler or whatever, reincarnated. It's like, we have to stop it before it happens again. It could happen again. You remember the never forget as far as the Holocaust, and never again, right? That's what they say. Well, where do you go now that you've made a direct comparison? How much more hyperbole is there? You've hit the ceiling. and not the proverbial glass ceiling like this other clip I went through. Holy shit, this is the weirdest thing. Now, apparently people in the chat actually did point out that there were issues with pharmaceuticals with that they did not consider the difference for women and hormonal potential side effects from large medications, let's just say like big pharma, just a general medication, whatever it is, even something that may have been recalled, because they were considering mostly male anatomy as opposed to male and female, just based on hormone stuff and the monthly stuff, right?
Mhm.
So, but why not go out and say it? So instead, they keep beating around the bush, no pun intended, about how just about the science. You mean biology, right?
Mhm.
Scientific researcher and essayist is making national headlines in newsworthy interviews.
This is true in biological research. This is true in biomedical research. We are only studying males, right? And it's basically because this thing we call a menstrual cycle, which a biologist would call an estrous cycle, is just so messy and complicated.
We're going to have to get back on reproductive rights because that's a problem, and it's a deeply ancient part of our history. Joining me now, I've got Kat Bohannon. Kat, it's a pleasure to have you here. First question out of the gate. Why Eve and why now?
Because we've been radically understudying and undercaring for all women and girls throughout the world for about half.
So in case you guys are wondering, now they're able to define women and girls different than men. So in this example, we're suspending reality of the 72 genders and saying that we definitely understand what is a woman.
A century. Well, let's say a bit longer, but let's just cut it off at half a century and say, okay, there's a good starting point in biology and biomedical research. And we're finally starting to change that. We're finally getting to that point where we're beginning to understand why so many women and girls have autoimmune problems, why so many different drugs affect us differently. But there's such a big gap to close that we need to keep our foot on the pedal. So that's why now.
And listen, we saw you talk about reproductive rights and that it's a, quote, deeply ancient part of our history. In what way is that the case?
So the thing that we often mistake about what so many women go through is that it must be easy for us to make babies because, look, there are 8 billion of us, right? So we're good at this. Obviously, it's totally normal. Just because something is normal does not mean it's okay.
I'm sorry, what? Just because something is normal does not mean it's okay. So this is where the deviation happens. And it's partly on, I forget her name, Katie, no, is it Katie Fan? I don't know, whoever it is. Whoever's on the left of the screen, the interviewer. I asked the wrong question, assuming that the viewers knew exactly what she was talking about. Now, eventually she gets to it and says that they were saying that the pharmaceutical companies did not take into account certain parts of the differences, which seems kind of far-fetched, but I guess there have been there was some people in the chat that pointed me to that was actually something that was occurring.
It's actually the case that our species, the way we go about baby making, is terrible. It's absolutely biologically quantifiably awful. It is worse than most any other primate, worse than most any other mammal. We're bad at this. And the only reason we didn't go extinct is that we started helping each other give birth and taking the reins of our reproductive lives. Lucy, the Australopithecine 3.2 million years ago, she had a midwife, furry little thing. Had a midwife, though. She also controlled her reproduction in a number of ways. And so the thing about Republicans now is that they're not trying to roll back the clock like 50 years. They're actually trying to roll back the clock 3.2 million.
Yeah. There you go.
This is what we're up against right now.
Well, I kind of like our odds, to be honest.
I like our odds too. Oh goodness. Oh my goodness.
So I mean, eventually she made the point, and I think D Richards over in our chat probably recognized the name, pointed out that there was an issue for at least a good amount of time where they were not considering some of the differences in their studies with hormonal changes, with the hormonal differences of men and women.
Okay.
But the interviewer did not start with that. So then you get quotes like that. Because you see the further agenda of what it is. You see the agenda behind the actual thing. So they could be straightforward and say, look, these manufacturers or these people did not consider this, and that's a problem. Now we're making them take a look at this, and this is what my book is about. No, it ended up being, no, the Republicans are evil, and they're trying to roll back women's reproductive rights 3.5 million years. That's what came out, as opposed to what the actual truth was. In typical MSNBC or fake news fashion, this is what it is. Everything is obfuscated. The actual point that they're trying to make is obfuscated with political bullshit and point making and gamesmanship.
Yeah, they lose their message so quickly by jumping the shark like that. It turns. I mean, I don't know about you, but it turns it into like a comedy segment instead of something that somebody can actually maybe take something valuable from. But that is MSNBC. Wow, Republicans rolling back the clock 3.2 million years. It's amazing. It's pretty amazing.
I didn't know we had that kind of power. That's crazy.
It's wild, man.
Superhuman.
It's impressive. All right, let's take care of the sponsors, and we'll see what else there is to get into here today. First, we've got Earth Garden Botanicals. Love this company. Earth Garden Botanicals is run by our friend Jolene up in Montana. She makes wellness products. They're amazing. CBD and hemp products are fantastic too, like the CBD oil tinctures. All the ingredients are grown locally on organic Montana farms. Super cool. It's a great product. All the flavors are unbelievable. Check some of them out, like the orange ginger bergamot, huckleberry, peppermint, cinnamon bliss, and cherry. They got CBD oil for pets, R&R Delta 8 nighttime gummies to help you get a good night's sleep. This topical cream is incredible for sore muscles and joints. You can get that with or without CBD infused, the arnica salve. Check out the fire cider, a little concoction made to help clear your sinuses and breathe more clearly. Elderberry tonic boosts the immune system. If you feel a cold coming on, really great thing to have sitting in your medicine cabinet. Check out all the different teas if you're a tea drinker. They have 4 wonderful blends of tea to sip on. So sunshine and pine needle tea, elderberry tea, golden potion tea, and serenity. They're all fantastic. And then, of course, the critter juice, helping to keep the insects away, the mosquitoes away. I swear by this stuff. I really struggle with mosquitoes. They just always seem to find me, and I get eaten alive when I'm outdoors. But this stuff has really gone a long ways to keeping the mosquitoes away and giving me a whole different experience outdoors during the summer. Go check out all these amazing products at earthgardenbotanicals.com. Use promo code 412. You get 20% off when you use that promo code. 20% off using promo code 412. Also, our amazing friends over at diamondsoapco.com as well. Diamond Soap Co. is another really great America First business, veteran and family owned and operated, as Harold and Laura are both Air Force Intel vets. They've been married over 30 years. They make all their soaps and body butters here in the United States, handmade using organic, all-natural ingredients. So this stuff is top-notch, made by great people, a wonderful way to support the parallel economy. Check out the different scents. There's a ton of great ones. My favorites are the Bonfire and Kentucky Bourbon, but I've really enjoyed so many of these. There's a ton of different ones to talk about, whether you got the Cedar Amber, those island beach vibes with the Island Escape. Sweet Almond is warm, really good for this time of year. Your green tea cucumber is bright, refreshing. I love the green tea cucumber. I'm using the Classic Clean right now. I've really enjoyed it. And the frankincense and myrrh is also awesome. That one's inspired by Lance Lightspear. There's a ton of other scents too, guys. This is just what's on the homepage. But if you go and look at the soap section, you'll see lavender, night violet, citrus burst, southern peach. There's more. There's wild rose as well, lemongrass, tons of great choices to choose from here. So go check it out. Promo code 412 gets you 17% off. These are amazing gifts, stocking stuffers, or just treat yourself to a good bar of soap or some body butter, especially this time of year. The body butter, I don't know if you're like me, but my skin gets dry and itchy during the winter. The body butter does a great job alleviating that itchiness and that dry skin. So go check it out. diamondsoapco.com, promo code 412 for 17% off. 2 amazing sponsors with amazing products and big discounts right now for the holiday season. So don't miss out on Earth Garden Botanicals and Diamond SoCo. Promo code for both of them is 412 at checkout. Also, just wanted to say a couple real quick thank yous because I saw some big generosity. I want to make sure I mention it. Patriot Donnie, thank you so much for the fleet. I really appreciate it. Says, got to go pick up my prescription, but I'll watch the rest later. Stay safe, y'all. Nothing can stop when it's coming. Donnie, if you're still listening, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the fleet. That's super generous. R. Harrell, Boys Blanc, thank you guys for the cookies. Filter Dog One says, Brewer is a genius. Yes, he is really, really funny. Braves Piano says, hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Adel, I did. I hope you did as well, Braves Piano. Harley Quinn says, cheers. M the Painter says, they go with Eve through whom sin entered the world. We go with Mary through whom forgiveness entered the world. Profound. I like that. Very, very cool. Appreciate all you guys supporting the show here in the early segment of it. Keep them flowing. We'll check back in about, I don't know, half hour or so when we come back on the other side of break. So load up a bunch of gold pill messages for us to read through, and we'll have some fun with those a bit later. Hit that red pill button, repost the show if you're watching on pilled.net. That's always super important. And share the link. If you're watching on Rumble, hit that thumbs up button. Also, make sure you locate that pilled.net link in the description below because we will be going exclusively to Pilled in about half hour or so. All right. Without further ado, let's jump in. I just got a bunch of random stuff. This is slow news day. Pinata, at any point.
Yeah, I got some stuff. Sure.
Okay. Well, let me start with this because it's kind of funny, and then we'll jump over. We'll kind of take turns here today.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Hillary Clinton among top picks to run in 2024 if Joe Biden doesn't. This is of course. Yeah, I told you it was funny. I told you were gonna laugh. All right. I don't know. Is this Jim Brewer funny? Is it funnier? I don't know. It's tough to say. A recent poll shows that failed 2016 Democrat presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is among the Democrats' top picks for the party's primary if 81-year-old President Joe Biden decides not to run in 2024 due to age or other factors, such as fitness for office. Most of the 2,000 plus respondents to the Harvard-Harris poll said that they have doubts about President Biden's mental fitness to serve as commander-in-chief, while more voters said he is worsening as president rather than improving. Around 3 in 5 of all likely voters said President Biden shouldn't run for a second term, though there were sharp partisan differences, with 33% of Democrats compared to 81% of Republicans and 66% of independents expressing that view. At the same time, strong majorities across the political spectrum agreed that the country needs another choice other than a matchup between President Biden and former President Donald.
The problem with this poll is that people are thinking of 2016 Hillary Clinton, not 7 years later Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
And I think as soon as unless this election swap happened, the candidate swap happened a week before the election, zero chance that. And I think they saw a similar thing, and because a lot of people were saying, oh well, we can't definitely discount this RFK Jr. Stealing Trump votes away, and I was like, yeah, but as soon as people look into him, this was initial polling when he's like, oh, I'm announcing I'm running, I'm going to go independent, third party, whatever. And like, oh, yeah, maybe at first you had some independents, but then once if any of those independents, and typically the ones that are the independents are the ones that are kind of looking into it a little bit. They don't, if they're still independent now, I'd say they're probably a little bit on the naive side of things, so maybe they'll fall for something. But they're looking, and I don't think that they would see. All it would take is one or two of RFK Jr.'s policy stances or his continued crusade against this whole, being a climate guy, to turn him off. And I think you're seeing that in the polling. The people are gonna come off him the more they learn about him.
Yeah, anyone that's conservative leaning on most policies, I feel like is going to bail on RFK the more they learn about his platform.
Right. So when I first saw that and they were like, oh, it's going to pull support, I'm like, yeah, for now, but not when people learn more about him.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Not in the long run.
Yeah, so let's look into some of the percentages here because this is probably going to be pretty interesting. So, amid swirling doubts about President Biden's fitness to continue to occupy the White House, pollsters asked Democrat voters who their pick would be if President Biden decides to opt out of the 2024 race. The top pick was Vice President Kamala Harris at 24%, with Ms. Clinton in second spot with 13%. Bernie Sanders was third with 10%, followed by Gavin Newsom and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, both with 7%. While the poll didn't gauge voter expectations for the results of a matchup between President Trump and Ms. Clinton, the former president was expected to beat Vice President Harris handily in a head-to-head contest, 52% to 41%. In terms of net favorability ratings, President Trump trailed only Robert F. Kennedy, 52% versus 51%, with the former president well ahead of Ms. Clinton at 44%, who is in seventh place. So I'll leave that there. So Kamala Harris, Pinata, is at least right now outpolling Hillary Clinton for next up in line, and outpolling Gavin Newsom, which is very, very interesting to me. I would not have expected Kamala Harris to do so well.
You mean all those wins are doing something for her at the border, and she finally figured it out. After all these years, that the best response is do not come.
Do not come. So there you go. Maybe
Would you guys expect a classy show today?
Yeah, absolutely not.
You know who you're coming to see. Come on. Poor choice of words on my part. Sorry.
It's all good.
All right. So it's interesting. All right. So it's interesting to see. I was pleasantly surprised to see that Fox News and Newsmax are starting to understand that there is a panic on the left about these assertions. Then he goes into it here that it's Hitler and Mussolini. Like I'm glad that they're seeing that it's absurd, because I've been seeing that, and that's what I've been saying. And so then they kind of get into the comparisons that or the observations that Trump has been making in his speeches about Pelosi, and it's like the Democrats say it's unseemly for him to do this. Why it's you can't have a political opinion on something. And I think if let's just say for example, he was seriously injured or killed, I think everybody on all sides would probably stop with the jokes and stop with everything. But because he had a 6-day stint at the hospital, got out, and it seems to be fine, right? It wasn't a life-altering event for him, outside of the fact that someone broke into his house, right?
Right.
That can mess with people's minds. I'm not going to say that wouldn't, right? I think they'd probably have a problem with that, right? But really, if you're going to be a public figure and you're going to be in this area, and the fact that the guy had 2 inflatable unicorn suits with him in his bag, people are going to have questions. And the fact that all they had to do was just release the footage that they had at the time, but they didn't. They were playing coy. They're like, well, we don't know. It's like they allowed this thing to grow the way it did. And the only reason why I think most people were taking this thing to its absurd, some of the absurd conclusions, were the fact that they have zero compassion when it comes to anything Trump or anything on Trump supporters. Zero, none. They want to say that they're taking the high road. Never do they ever take the high road. And I think that this was the first time in a while that we had the whole country for a good amount of the country of just dishing it back to them, and they couldn't take it.
Yeah.
If I recall, this was a big inflection point where it was perfectly fine on, because Musk had just took over Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And so this stuff wouldn't have been like immediately bannable and all that on the platform. And it was the first time that you really saw people fight back about the narratives and how crazy it is. Why are you covering stuff up? It was like a really exemplary example. Well, I can't use the same word, right? It was a very good example of what the media says, how they block stuff out, how they try to pretend it's something else, and how we the people can circumvent that. It was a very good public example because of what had happened with Twitter at the time. So this is why this event is different and is not necessarily mocking someone being, hurt. It was about the media story and how they handled it. The more that it was about like trying to dunk on some guy that got hit in the head with a hammer.
Right.
And so but they don't have the ability for any nuance, as I've mentioned, as I've maintained. They can't do it. It has to be, it's just this, it was that. He was definitely right wing, but he's not.
That matter was a right-wing extremist. That is not true. Mixed up young man, definitely, but he was a nudist. He was a peacenik. He was all over the place ideologically, probably a bit unstable. And whatever did happen that night, I'm sorry, it was kind of weird. I don't want anything bad to happen to Paul Pelosi. We don't like violence. I don't like violence, but it was weird. And you know what? It's, Paul has had his issues. Remember when he was pulled over for drunk driving? I mean, the guy has had some episodes over the past 2 years or so, maybe longer. Yeah, actually longer. There's a lot more we could talk about with Paul Pelosi, but we're going to leave it alone for now. One more thing from this hysterical person at MSNBC.
This is Trump's effect on the Republican Party, a party whose worship of white male machismo appears to be turning into something brutal and cruel, where violence isn't just an accepted outcome in American life, but a necessary outcome.
Well, if it weren't so ridiculous, I would be insulted, all right? I mean, we're not about violence. And, isn't it okay to be a little bit macho? Macho is actually okay. White male machismo, the way she says it. And what does white male have to do with anything? She's great. I think she should ask her husband. And you know why she's so passionate? Maybe her husband, this guy, Cass, K-A-S-S, white male machismo? Maybe he's got some, I don't know, but he was a cook for Barack Obama. So we better be careful.
That's why I like doing my show the way I do it. I go based on titles and who it is and the sources. I had a pause, and I had a big thing I was talking about right before that, and then I go back to the video, and he brings out the guy that's a chef, and be careful. So
that's pretty hysterical.
That caught me by surprise, and I was like, "That's hilarious! I got to share that with you guys."
It's pretty fantastic. All right.
I have a throwover video when we do the switch.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Something to tease for the back half of the show. All right. Let's go to this one next. The DeSantis campaign continues to fall apart. Head of DeSantis super PAC resigns, saying role became untenable. The CEO of a super PAC backing Ron DeSantis' bid for the GOP presidential nomination announced his resignation on Wednesday, saying his role had become untenable. Quote, Never Back Down's main goal and sole focus has been to elect Governor Ron DeSantis as president, said Chris Jankowski in a statement provided by a spokeswoman for the super PAC. Given the current environment, it has become untenable for me to deliver on the shared goal, and that goes well beyond a difference of strategic opinion. The statement continued, for the future of our country, I support and pray Ron DeSantis is our 47th president. The announcement follows reports by NBC News and the New York Times citing anonymous sources about disagreements among the group's leadership. Reports emerged Tuesday that a heated argument broke out among two members of the group's leadership. Never Back Down did not address a request for comment from the Epoch Times on the reports of these disagreements. A new super PAC called Fight Right formed soon after the disagreement reportedly broke out. The DeSantis campaign welcomed the group, with a spokesperson saying they were excited to see even more backers stepping up to support Ron DeSantis' candidacy. Quote, we've already seen tremendous value in the support of groups like Never Back Down, and adding new allies into the mix to independently help spread the governor's message will only strengthen our advantage in the important weeks and months ahead, DeSantis campaign communications director Andrew Romeo said. The Epoch Times contacted the DeSantis campaign for comment on the resignation of Mr. Jankowski and the reported leadership disagreement and its cause. Per the New York Times and NBC News, the super PAC met last week to discuss a strategy to beat Nikki Haley, a GOP presidential candidate who is rising in the polls. This led to an argument that almost came to blows, according to a source who was in the room. Ms. Haley, once considered a long shot candidate, emerged victorious last week in a mock Iowa caucus soon after she won a bipartisan New Hampshire poll that pitted her against President Joe Biden. On November 13th, the results of a mock caucus staged by the influential Young Republican National Federation indicated that Ms. Haley scored 37.8% of the caucus votes. This was more than GOP frontrunner former President Donald Trump, who picked up 23.3% of the vote. Mr. DeSantis came in third with 16.7% of the vote in the precursor event. 2 days later, a New Hampshire poll by the Boston-based liberal Emerson College showed that Ms. Haley would beat President Biden with 45% of the vote. President Biden scored 39% of the votes, and President Trump lost by 5 points. The bipartisan survey polled 917 registered New Hampshire voters. However, President Trump remains the obstacle to Ms. Haley in the key battleground state, with the Emerson poll naming him the winner of the GOP nomination in the key battleground state. Following the polls, the Haley campaign announced 72 new endorsements from community and political influencers in New Hampshire, including Mary Kramer, a former U.S. ambassador to Barbados under President George W. Bush. Her campaign also announced that $10 million worth of campaign ads would be running in Iowa and New Hampshire in December. The DeSantis campaign has also spent more than $10 million for TV ads to appear between November and mid-January, according to an Epoch Times analysis of Federal Communications Commission disclosures. The disclosures were released by broadcasters in the Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Davenport, and Sioux City, Iowa metro areas, as well as Omaha, Nebraska. The Epoch Times contacted DeSantis' campaign about reports citing anonymous sources that candidate and his wife were dissatisfied with the leadership at the Never Back Down group. So more turmoil with the DeSantis campaign. And I find it funny, Pinata, that they are like, it's like this battle for second place. You see the fight came in the strategy session on how to beat Nikki Haley. You have Donald Trump, who's like 40 points ahead in every poll, and their strategy sessions are this like weird jockeying for second place, which to me tells me that they are still operating under some kind of assumption that Donald Trump will be disqualified.
Well, that's what their hope is. Like they're hoping that, and that's what they're showing. When he dropped below and Nikki Haley, when he dropped below Nikki Haley, you saw immediately the attacks on his Twitter from those people going right at Haley and not at Trump anymore. So that was a noticeable shift.
And it's like two things, right? Like one, when you take a warlike position with Donald Trump, you're taking a warlike position with the entire MAGA community, which never ends well.
No.
And also, like we've mentioned before, they know they can't beat Trump anyway, so they're trying to be the understudy in the event that Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're trying, not even going for VP. They're trying to be the understudy of the actual presidential candidate. I happened to catch Dilly today, and considering the types of sources that he's gathered recently, by obviously he's been plugged in a little bit into Trump world. So he was saying that they've kind of allowed, or it's come out that DeSantis was the one that was in charge of all these different reboots, and why he kept changing people is that he's been micromanaging it. So I think Dilly said it was like, so some people have been speculating it was just all these people around him that were causing him to do this. It's like, no, he was kind of doing this, and it's kind of like basically takes that idea away that he was talked into this, meaning that it was kind of him doing it, which just kind of solidifies and makes it pretty clear why it's been failing so much. Is that
wait, so I understand correctly, DeSantis is the one that's been like, it's not his handlers, like he's been fucking.
No, he's the one that's been micromanaging it and fucking it up.
And were you also alluding to the fact that like he wasn't convinced to run, like he wanted this?
I don't know if it went that far. That's not what Dilly was talking about. It was just talking about as far as how it was run, the campaign and the reboots. It was because people were leaving because of him, but in particular being micromanaging.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. This guy is going to be selling insurance policies by the end of 2025.
Yeah, and no one will buy.
Yeah, and no one will. Terrible salesman. Do you have anything else that you want to throw out there at this moment?
About that, no.
No. Okay. Do you want to take the next? Do you have another clip or anything, or I can go and do another article if you want.
Yeah, go ahead and do one more.
Okay.
And I'll have something.
All right, sounds good. Let's do an update on the Rainbow Bridge. So yesterday we reported on the explosion on the Rainbow Bridge at the border of Canada and the USA by Niagara Falls. The FBI ends investigation of car wreck at Niagara Falls Bridge, no indication of terrorism. The FBI has ended its investigation of a fiery car wreck that killed 2 people at a border checkpoint in Niagara Falls after finding no evidence that it was a terror attack, easing a period of high tensions as Americans headed into the Thanksgiving holiday. The FBI's decision late Wednesday came several hours after the vehicle raced through an intersection, hit a median, and was launched through the air before slamming into a line of booths and exploding at the Rainbow Bridge in Niagara Falls. Local police are handling the case as a traffic investigation. Quote, a search of the scene revealed no explosive materials and no terrorism nexus was identified. The FBI's Buffalo office said in a statement, the matter has been turned over to the Niagara Falls Police Department as a traffic investigation. The investigation has been taken over by the Niagara Falls Police Department's Crash Management Unit, according to a news release from the city's police department, which added, due to the complexity of the incident, the investigation will take some time to complete. The 2 people who died were a husband and wife, according to a person briefed on the investigation who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to release information about the people who were killed. The identities of those in the car have not yet been released. The crash prompted the closure of the Rainbow Bridge and 3 other bridges connecting Western New York and Ontario. As federal officials swarmed the area and both U.S. President Joe Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau received briefings, hours later, officials sought to calm concerns on what is one of the busiest travel days of the year. Quote, based on what we know at this moment, New York Governor Kathy Hochul said in a news conference, there is no sign of terrorist activity in the crash. Ms. Hochul, a Democrat, said the car was basically incinerated with nothing left but the engine and a scattering of charred debris. Later Wednesday night, Senator Chuck Schumer said investigators had found no connection to any terrorist or criminal group. He added that there was no evidence of chemicals or substances used in explosives during investigators' swabbing of the scene. The Rainbow Bridge has about 6,000 vehicles cross each day, according to the U.S. Federal Highway Administration's National Bridge Inventory. So there you go. It really did seem like it was something more nefarious at first yesterday, but it turns out it was just from what I understand, a Bentley that like mechanically failed. And but I don't know.
I'm gonna say no to the Bentley mechanically failing. It's
seemed
more than likely it was a medical episode.
Okay.
Probably. I only say that because my one of my instructors when I was getting my mechanical engineering degree was like they used Bentley as an example as far as like the type of redundancy that they have in those types of vehicles is not necessarily why they're so expensive, but they build them in there. And so unless something comes out that says that, I don't know. I just personally I'm inclined to agree to disagree with yours.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. I don't know the first thing about it. I'm just saying what I've seen on other places, right? That's all.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't seen those, but
yeah,
as far as the Bentley product, yeah, I don't know. They build a lot of shit in it. Okay. All right, my turn.
Yeah, your turn, buddy.
All right. So they're still trying to convince everyone that somehow Donald Trump was a genius, but then alas, now he's dumb because he got found out by the very stunning and brave and very intelligent Letitia James.
Mar, the business brand was sort of foundational to the political brand. I think at this point it's questionable which one has surpassed the other. It would seem, though, that the damage done here, the damage revealed about how this organization was actually running, should tarnish the overall concept that this was some financial genius?
It should. Of course, that's not what's happening. And I think that
Well, what's happening?
part of this is, I don't want to call it genius, but I think the magic, the dark magic,
Oh, dark magic. Okay.
really, of Donald Trump,
The
which
dark magic of Donald Trump. Is this bronzer? What are you talking about?
is his ability to connect with this deep base that he has that may be small, but it runs deep.
Yes, the base is extremely small. Keep running with that.
To say, I'm just like you. You're just like me. And so you don't want to give the government money.
Well, of course not. I consider most taxation theft, and I think a lot of people believe that.
Everybody cheats on their taxes.
No. We're not cheating on taxes. There's loopholes and there's provisions, and if you pay more than what you're supposed to, according to the law, why do that? He has brought that up, but he's not talking about breaking the law.
Everybody commits this kind of fraud.
But no, what do you mean? He has not said that everyone commits fraud by using legal tax loopholes.
And you would do it too if you could. Don't you want to be like me? And I think because of that, and because of the tribalism of Donald Trump's base, it really doesn't.
Yes, we're the ones that are tribal.
Hurt him. I do think that there are independents who are turned off by this, that there are moderate Republicans who are turned off by this in swing states. One of the other striking things to me as a New Yorker, a lifelong New Yorker, growing up with Donald Trump as kind of a figure, a tabloid figure, and then, of course, kind of a reality TV figure, and then more an authoritarian figure.
And there's the magic word that's been going around for the last 3 weeks, authoritarian.
Is that much of this fraud has gone on for so many decades, and yet it was allowed to go on.
Really? It was allowed to go on by who?
Until
the study and brave Letitia James.
Until he became the president. In a way you can kind of understand, but another way you say, well, where is the accountability? And I think that Donald Trump has actually benefited from that, because he's saying to Americans in his base, you know what? Everybody's a crook anyway, so let me get away with it. And I think that shouldn't resonate with people, but it does.
Yeah, the reason it doesn't resonate is because that's not what's happening. That's your skewed, idiotic interpretation of what's going on. So it's like, it's not resonating. Well, because it's not true. It's like, these indictments aren't working because they're bullshit. It's like, this economy is great. It's not.
Why don't people see it? Well, I mean, how many times too, like with the economy, have we seen different experts and analysts pop up on MSNBC or CNN and say, like, it's working. People just don't realize how it works, or like, like you're just too dumb.
They'll come on and say, we haven't messaged this correctly.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous.
Yep.
Completely ridiculous. They give people absolutely no credit whatsoever. All right, let's what time is it? It's 4:51. This is as good a time as any. Rather than getting into something fresh, we'll go ahead and do our mid-show break, where we go exclusively to pill.net for the second half of the broadcast. So you guys, if you want to keep watching and hanging out, make sure you get over to pill.net and find us over there. It's 412 Productions on the platform. I'll put the link to the show in the live chats in Rumble, YouTube, and DLive for you guys. Make it real easy. They're also in the YouTube and Rumble video descriptions if you want to do it that way. The link is very accessible for you all. So I'm going to play this quick video, again, kind of pointing to where to go. We'll come back on the other side, officially say goodbye to all of our alternative platforms, and then we'll get into the second half of the show on the other side. So we'll be right back.
Pill.net is proud to host 412 Productions, exclusively on the true home of free speech. To continue watching the show, we are here to help you over to Pilled. If you're new to the platform, just click on the welcome link provided. It will then automatically walk you through signing up for your free account. If you already have a Pill.net account, follow the link provided directing you straight to 412 Productions channel. We are excited to have you join the Pilled family. And if you have any questions at all, please email support@pill.net. Enjoy the rest of 412 Productions on pill.net. Free speech lives here.
All right, we are back. One last opportunity for all of you guys watching on Rumble, DLive, Odyssey, Cloud Hub, Twitter, and YouTube to jump on over to pill.net to keep hanging out with us for the second half of the show. Again, I put the link in all of the live chats for you guys. It's also down below the Rumble and YouTube video description. So all you gotta do is click on that link. It'll bring you right on into the stream. If you're not going to make your way over, no hard feelings. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I am most likely going to be on tomorrow morning for the Saturday morning chat. So if you guys want to come and hang out tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time is when I should be live, although there's a small chance that I won't be able to do it. I'm pretty sure I'll be here. But that is going to do it for all of the alternate platforms today. So get that link, jump over to pill.net, keep hanging out with us. If not, have a great weekend, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. All right.